England is going to close down until the 1st of December, and I suppose we'll do it next week. And I love this story, though. You know, in Wales and in the Republic, you're not allowed to buy clothes. They're no longer an essential item. And somebody put a picture up of a naked man going into a store in England saying, fine, if they're not essential, why wear them? And now there's a big debate going on in the Dublin Parliament because some shops have the socks separate from other clothing. And the minister was asked, could you buy socks? And he said, no, they're clothing, so you cannot buy socks. And so they had the whole debate was about why can't you buy socks? Not about the pandemic or anything else, but why you can't. Technically, our socks, are they clothing? Are they our clothing? Yeah, we never think of them as clothing, like gloves and socks. Anyway, I reckon it won't be long before, when you're leaving this church, there'll be a little fella outside and he'll say, nip around the back for socks and jocks. Trevor mentioned about All Souls and All Saints. And of course, both follow Halloween, Holy Eve. And All Souls Day is known as the commemoration of all the faithfully departed and the Day of the Dead. And it's a day of prayer and remembrance for the souls of those who have died, which, I hastily add, is only observed by some Christian denominations, the Catholic Church in particular. You pray for the dead. And All Souls Day is paired with All Saints Day because the All Saints have already made it. They are in heaven, hence the reason they're called saints. And the All Souls, the souls are in purgatory. All Saints Day is the 1st of November and All Souls is the 2nd of November. Now, I was brought up a Catholic, so I wasn't completely au fait with this. Protestants don't pray for the dead because there is no biblical instruction to do so. Am I completely right or not, Trevor? Well, Anglicans might occasionally pray for the dead.
A bit of a spectrum like most of them.
Oh, okay. And also, the other thing, if you're a kind of a hardline Reformed Protestant, to pray for the dead is a big insult to Jesus. Because it's his job to intercede with God. So you pray for the living and leave Jesus to act as a sort of arbitrator when you get up there to see if he can get you in or not. Meanwhile, all the Catholics are in purgatory, so the Catholics are praying for the Catholics in purgatory. However, now there's always an out. That's what I love about things. There's always an out. However, if you're a Protestant who believes you shouldn't pray for the dead, wait for it. There's no harm in asking a Catholic friend to pray for the dead. So it's a good idea always to have a Catholic friend. So when a member of the family departs, you can say, would you mind praying for the sick? I can't. So there you go. Now, outside the church, on the porch, you will see the following inscribed. All souls are mine. Ezekiel 18, verse 4. As a matter of fact, from Scripture, the full text is, behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. Now, as you can well imagine, there are numerous understandings of that text. And there's numerous disagreements with the different understandings of that text. So I'm going to give two that I subscribe to. Because I love this idea of how people read a bit of text from a sacred document, the Bible, the Quran, and then they put their definition on it, and that is for them the absolute definition. I love the story of a rabbi, and the rabbi is sitting with three Jewish men, and they are debating frantically sacred Jewish texts. And two of them are arguing passionately about the interpretation of a specific piece of text. And the third Jewish man who's watching this says to the rabbi, which one of them is right? And the rabbi said, he's right, and he's right. And the third man said, well, they both can't be right. And the rabbi says, and you're right. So that is the way to approach sacred text. If you read it one way and I read it another way, whatever, then that is how we understand it, how it speaks to each other. And we can have a debate about it, but we don't necessarily have to change each other's mind. Now back to Ezekiel, who later explains that the sins or wrongs of the Father will not be on the head of the Son, and equally, the misdemeanors of the Son will not be on the head of the Father. So there is no, as we often hear, I used to hear it in Dublin, I used to hear my own father say that, oh, sure, like Father likes it. Oh, don't be hanging around that fella. Sure, his father was a peculiar genius. And he'd be every bit as bad. So now Ezekiel would tell my father, not on Bracky, because my father was known as Bracky because he was born on Halloween and he was called after the Brack. How creative and imaginative is that? So my father used to always say that. Oh, that fella, always, he was as bad as his father. So Ezekiel would completely disagree with Bracky Hudson. He would say, no, Bracky, there is absolutely no way that the sins of the Father are on the head of the Son, or indeed the sins of the Son are on the head of the Father. That is incredibly radical. I mean, it must have been amazingly radical when Ezekiel said it at that time in the Old Testament. But even today, when you think about it. So if you live a life which is kind, considerate to others, then you are not judged on the wrongs of somebody that you may be related to, somebody that may be close to you. And as I said, even today, that is amazingly radical, today's standards. Because I'm reading, at least I've just started reading another big book by Tom Holland, Dominion, The Making of the Western World. And basically, what it's revealing is the huge influence of Christianity in the Western world. Now that seems quite obvious, but a lot of people think, well, no, we're now moving into more of a secular world. But Tom Holland argues in that book, no, Christianity still influences. The essence of Christianity and its teaching even influences atheism.